Coach Jim Mora of UCLA joining me here once again on the Rich Eisen Show. Pleased to have you back here, Coach.
Rich, it's a pleasure to be on your show. Congratulations on your success so
Thank you.
far.
I appreciate that. I'd love to get your thoughts on a couple of the issues in the NFL, certainly with players that have left a little bit of the head scratching. In Seattle, Marshawn Lynch didn't go into the locker room at halftime yesterday, saying that he was a little tired out, and that it would help him to just not have to go walk into the locker room. As we all know, there's been contract issues with him. How do you deal with a player from a coaching standpoint like Marshawn Lynch?
Well, that was an interesting one to me. I'd never heard that excuse before, and we all know how hard he plays, so maybe there's something to that. But I think the best thing you do is you keep it out of the media, and you bring him in and you have a heart-to-heart with him. I'm sure that's what Pete Carroll will do, I don't think it does anyone any good to start playing out all the different scenarios in the media. I think that the best thing you can do is just go man-to-man, man-to-man. Just let's talk it out. Let's figure out what's wrong here, and let's figure out how we can get through the rest of the season and then go from there. There's going to be egos involved. There's going to be discontent. Players get moody, coaches get moody, everyone gets moody. But I think, I went back and I read Marshawn's comments after the game, and even though he didn't go in the locker room, everything that he said after the game I thought was right on point. He was very positive about his team. He said it was a tough, hard-fought game. But the whole not going in the locker room thing was kind of a new one for me.
Yeah, I've never heard of that one either. What would you say to RG3 right now? He's now 3-7. He looked lost against the Buccaneers in that loss. And then after the game, we're going to talk about this later on. One of the sound bites that you could parse from his entire post-game commentary was how quarterbacks like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, when their players don't play well, then they don't play well. And, of course, people are pointing that this is now him passing along the blame, even though that was in a whole soliloquy in which he did take blame on his shoulders. What would you tell him, Jim Mora, right now?
Well, I'll tell you what I tell our guys is there's no better examples of how to accept responsibility for not playing well and defer credit when you do play well than Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. They're the most gracious winners and gracious losers that I've ever seen with regards to speaking to the media. And I think it should be almost required reading that you have to sit down and listen to Tom Brady and Peyton Manning talk to the media, and they do it so right. They say the right things. Anytime they don't play well, the very first thing they do is accept responsibility. And when they do play great, which is most often, the first thing they do is they defer to their offensive line and their receivers and the game plan and their preparation and things like that. And I think besides the fact that they're such great players, that's one of the reasons that they're so well respected. And, I have a quarterback here, Brett Hundley, I think he's going to be a great, great player at the next level. And anytime I can find something that Peyton Manning says or that Tom Brady says that I think can help him kind of formulate the way he's going to talk to the media, I show it to him because I think it's so important that you, especially at that position, you say the right thing every single time. I mean, I've learned some really difficult lessons in my career when I've opened my mouth and the wrong things come out because I didn't think about it, and a lot of times. So I try to help Brett not make the mistakes that I've made.
UCLA head coach Jim Mora joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show, former Falcons and Seahawks coach, obviously in the National Football League. Who's done, in your estimation, the best coaching job at the NFL level this year?
This year?
Yeah.
Boy, I think I look what Andy Reid has done very quietly. I think obviously Bruce Arians. I got to coach with Bruce years back with the Saints, and I just love the guy, and I love what he's been able to do with that team. And then you take a guy like Drew Stanton, who steps in yesterday, and they just keep rolling, no excuses. They're sitting there at 9-1, 2 games up in their division. For me, it's hard to go past what Bruce Arians has done, and not just this year, but last year. And then, when he took over for Chucky in Indianapolis, I mean, what a delicate situation. He handled it marvelously. His players love playing for him. He's kind of eccentric, he just does it the way he wants to do it. And Bruce, I mean, that's just how he is. And He's so genuine. There's nothing about him that's phony. People on the outside might think that, he's playing a game and, and trying to look a certain way and act a certain way because he thinks it's cool. But any of us that know Bruce know that that's him and he's genuine. I think that's why the players have responded so well to him.
Yeah, and he's definitely in line for a second Coach of the Year award in the last 3 years, although I think Belichick should be in the running, too, what he's done this year.
Yeah.
It's remarkable.
I mean, how do you go past what Belichick does every single year? You know, we talked about it as a team this morning in our team meeting that, you know, they are just a machine. And it doesn't matter who's playing, who they're playing, where they're playing, what the situation is. They come out every week and they just play well. And they're so focused as a team. And then, you know, you talk about saying the right thing in the media. For some of these young guys that are learning how to deal with the media, the Patriots always say the right thing. You know, they're just they're just trained to do it the right way on and off the field, and that starts with Belichick.
Yeah, I think they're afraid to say the wrong thing in a way. So, Jim, it's USC week, and you're talking about Jonas Gray and the Patriots. You're taking a portion of your team meeting to talk about what Jonas Gray and the Patriots did on Sunday night?
Yeah, you know, because I think it's just a great example of a team playing as a team trusting their preparation, a team focusing on what matters, which was preparation, execution, and mindset. And you know, I just thought that game last night was a great example for our players as to how pros do it, real pros do it, consistent teams that win year in and year out, that are able to overcome losses of personnel or, you know, bad weather, and they don't make excuses, and they trust their preparation. They trust each other. They're on the same page. They play as a team, and, you know, that's what we're trying to achieve. And so, you know, I think you can find lessons all over the place. And these young players, they love to hear the NFL stories. You know, they love to delve into the mindset of the NFL player. And so anytime I can use that example, I do it with them.
I got 60 seconds left before I got 60-second break. It is USC week. Coach Mora, what does that mean around your neck of the woods over the next few days?
Well, it's exciting. It's exciting because it's such a great rivalry, and this week it means something this year. You know, there's some significance to this game, and for us, we recognize that they're a really outstanding football team, and we have to have a great week of preparation and go out and play our best football on Saturday. But it's really neat for the city of L.A. I know it's great for UCLA to be in a position where this game does mean something in the Pac-12 and nationally. It's been a while, really, for us since that's been the case. And so we're just excited about it. You know, I think the most important thing we can do is try to put blinders on and you know, ignore the noise outside of our building or our practice field and just stay focused on what we have to do to try to get a win.
Jim, thanks so much. I appreciate it. We'll chat with you next Monday after the game.
All right, Rich, you have a great week.
A pleasure. Say hi to your dad and your mom. That's Jim Mora, you bet, the head coach of UCLA.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.